Hi and welcome to a tutorial on using Adobe Animate with 5 separate scenes, all created in 5 separate FLA files. I'm going to show you how to combine them into a single video or single animation clip that you can use to submit your assessment task. Now, while the possibility does exist for you to copy and paste each of the layers into a single document, I would recommend against that because of the way that the library works. You'll notice I'm in this document at the moment. In my library, I've got 2 files there called girl and the symbol 1. If I go to scene 2, I still have symbol 1. And if I go into scene 3, you'll see I've got symbol 1 again. Each of these symbol 1s are in fact a different type of graphic because symbol 1 is the default name given when you start creating motion tweens. If I combine these 3 files together, it's going to get very confused about what symbol 1 it's trying to use, and your animation will actually stop working. So what I'm going to show you how to do is to export your files from Adobe Animate into 5 individual GIF files. And then we're going to get those 5 individual GIF files and import them back into a single file using Adobe After Effects, because it's quite simple to do in After Effects. So to begin, we need to go on each of our documents. We go to the File menu, we go to the Export, and we select Export a Animated GIF. It will bring up a window. And here you'll see it takes a little while to process what's happening in your scene. It will depend on how big your animation scenes are. It's up to you. And once that's loaded, you'll see on the right hand side there's a whole heap of settings that we have the opportunity to change. You don't need to change anything. Okay? The only thing you need to look at is make sure that you do have GIF here in this drop down menu, which it should come up by default. And just down the bottom where it says looping, we're just going to change that to once so it doesn't keep looping forever. Once we've done that, we simply click Save, and the dialog box will come up and ask us where to save it. I'm going to save these straight into a folder called My GIF Files, and you can see I've actually created them here already. Save and replace. And once that's completed, this window will close down. You'll see the loading arrow on my computer will disappear, the spinning color wheel. You need to complete this process for each of your individual scenes. So for my project that I'm working with here, I have 5 separate scenes. I've completed this process for all 5 of those. When I'm finished, in my GIF file folder, you'll see I have scene 1, scene 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all 5 of my GIF images are here, and that's what we need. Next step is to open Adobe After Effects. I'm working again with the After Effects Creative Cloud 2017 version. And once we've got that open, we're going to import these files in and create a single video composition. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, once we've got Adobe After Effects open, you'll see in my window, I have my project panel, I've got my render and composition settings, I've got my main screen and some additional settings. I just simply go into the file, select all 5 of my files and drag and drop. You see the plus button appears, and drag them into my project. Now all I've done at the moment is add them to the project library and then need to create them into a single composition. Okay, this may take a couple of seconds to load into your computer while it loads those 5 animation files. Now with all 5 of these, we need to make sure that we've got them named correctly so that they are actually put in the right order. So I've named them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they're now sequenced. I highlight all 5, I go to the composition menu and select New Composition, or I can right click on them and say New Composition from Selection, which is the easiest way to do that. When I do that, it's going to ask me, do I want multiple compositions or a single? We want to convert this into one single file, so we're obviously going to select single composition there. We're going to use the dimensions from the scene 1 GIF, and these will all be the same size because of the way that we've designed our animation. And most importantly, we're going to make sure this option here is got a tick on it, so it says sequence layers, and that's going to get scene 1 to go before scene 2, to go before scene 3, and we'll put them in a nice sequence there. Click OK, and in your bottom project panel now you should see all 5 of your scenes, and you should see on layer number 1 is scene 1. When it finishes, layer number 2 starts, which is scene 2, and that continues on for your project. If you want to test that, you can press the spacebar button and it will preview your animation for you, and it should include all aspects. It should be in the correct sequence, and they all should only play one single time. You shouldn't have any multiple repeated loops happening here. Once you're satisfied that that aspect of your project is working fine, you simply need to go to the composition menu again, select Add to Render Queue. The new panel at the bottom, Render Queue, will open up, and you'll see the composition scene 1 will come up, and it should come up with an option scene1.mov. That's what we want here. We're going to render it, and by default mine saves to the desktop, but you can change where it goes by clicking on the drop down menu of output. Now once this blue bar gets right to the end, that's when our animation has been completely exported as one single file. Now before I close After Effects, I'm just going to open my .mov up and see if it works. It is normal for this converting bar to come up the first time you open it, and that's so that QuickTime is able to actually play it. So we're just going to double check that that's going to work for us, and spacebar to test it. You can click through. Once you're satisfied you're completed now, you can close it. No need to save, so don't save, and this is the final file that you can submit to me in addition to your project portfolio. Thanks very much.